I think the real threat to public lands comes from this idea that the development of resources is somehow going to make our communities richer. People are willing to sacrifice what they perceive to be a fringe benefit for economic development, for exploitation of natural resources. But I think that they would realize, perhaps only after they're gone, that they weren't a fringe benefit after all, that they were part of who we are. When I first decided I wanted to become an aerial photographer, I thought to myself, well, I know how to fly an airplane, so the hard part's done. I'll just pick up a camera and become a photographer. And I realized very quickly that operating an airplane effectively is much easier than operating a camera effectively. And so it was the aerial view that really informed my understanding of how landscapes work. It gives you a clear view of the interconnectedness of all landscapes. And as I flew around the West, watching the landscape change, I decided that it was important for me to start telling those stories with aerial photography. I was raised a conservationist in a family to whom conservation was extremely important. But we lived in the suburbs, and it wasn't until I came west and started working on ranches that I recognized the same landscapes that were these wonderful places for recreation and adventure and beauty and wildlife were also the landscapes that supported the agricultural community. And of course, here in Montana, you won't find anybody who does not recreate with their families on public lands. So if we did not have that as an asset, well, it would be just unimaginable. Flying over the Missouri Breaks is an amazing privilege because you get to have that magical bird's eye view. It is also not a classically beautiful landscape. It's not your sort of typical high rocks and ice, majestic peaks, but it's a much more sophisticated landscape. To ask what we're losing if we lost these landscapes is sort of like asking, what if we lost the Metropolitan Museum of Art? Let's just sell that stuff because we can make money off of it. You know, they're national treasures. We couldn't possibly think about doing anything but preserving those things for the enjoyment of people.